What's going on? What's going on? How's everybody doing today? I am excited today because today we're going to be talking about some really cool things. But all those who are tuning in, welcome to the Mogul podcast. And today on our segment, we're going to be talking about work life balance. And there'll be nobody better than Mrs. Danica Dorsey, who is juggling being a mother, a wife, um, jumping into the legal field as a business manager, and also has a podcast of her own with her cousin, joining that entrepreneurship club and doing that thing. We'll talk more about all that, but I mean, doing all of that must be really adventureful. Is that a word?
Yes.
Is
Yeah,
adventureful a word?
adventureful. I don't know, adventurous. Maybe let's do adventurous.
Okay, let's do adventurous. Let's do
Yeah.
adventurous. That's pretty.
Yes. Yes, it is. It
So,
really is.
so how's that been lately?
You know what, Mike? Well, first of all, thank you for having me here on
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
module.
Mogul.
Mogul. I'm sorry. I was struggling with that. I'm not even gonna lie. In the beginning, I was like, is it module? Is it mogul? Mogul?
Ah, it's the mogul.
It's the mogul. You're right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay, okay. Awesome, awesome. Um, but yes, I'm definitely happy to be here. I love what you're doing, just
Oh, thank
promoting and giving people the platform to be able to talk about what they do and just be a resource for the community. So kudos to you on that. And
you. Thank you. That means
but
a
yeah,
lot. Appreciate that.
yes, yes, we have, that's what we're here for. We have to do this thing, and the podcast world is just growing and growing. So kudos to you. But most definitely work life balance. You said it in the beginning. Juggling, just juggling being a mom, a wife, a businesswoman, juggling trying to even just do my self-care and do things, live my dream and all the above, right?
Right.
You get stuck in trying to um balance the two, like with work. I mean, that's why it's called work life balance, balancing work and life, right? And trying to find that happy medium. So that is definitely something that is difficult. Work life balance looks different for to everyone. My work life balance may not look the same as a coworker of mine, but it's definitely important. At the end of the day, it's important. And for me personally, I would say with I learned how to do work life balance with this last job. I've been on my job for going on 13 years. And like you were saying in the beginning, I'm a business development manager in the legal field. And it's tough. I travel for work, so I'm always gone, I'm always away from home. And um I really learned the importance of work life balance with this job. And crazy enough, our CEO is actually the one who taught us about work life balance and how important it is.
That's
So I
amazing.
would say it really is, like, and it's different too, because normally, managers or CEOs, they don't really push for that, especially like before our time. It was just work, 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 work. Like, you need
That's
a break, what, you got mental health, what, you that none of that was existed back in the day. It was just, in our time. So we're very blessed and fortunate to be able to even have this thing called work life balance.
right.
So our CEO pushes heavily on that. He encourages it with us. I mean, we have full on meetings about work life balance. Are you guys taking your PTO? Are you guys, getting the help that you guys need mentally if you guys do need it? And so all of that is really coming from above at my job. So he is practicing it. He does it himself in his personal life, and he's running an entire company. And so with that, that's where I've learned how to implement work life balance and make it a priority in my life.
Mm,
Um, but I feel like, number one, we have to establish those boundaries with work and life, right? Work and personal life. And we have to make a choice to say, my family or myself, I'm a priority. And my work life has to be separate from that. So learning how to balance those two you definitely have to make that adjustment there.
Yeah. So for me, work life balance, I actually learned it from the church. I actually
Did
went
you?
to I actually learned it from the church. Yeah. My pastor here in Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
he teaches a class. It's a lead class, and he had a class talking about work life balance, and that's actually where
Mm.
I learned. And the reason why I took the class is because of burnout, right? So I don't
Right.
know if you know I don't know if you know this, but I started in the 2014 my entrepreneurship journey with Blackwater. So I was a
Okay.
partner with Blackwater, and that's where I made my mark. Then I went to expand my on my own over here in Vegas, and did really well for myself. Actually, we own a digital marketing company here. I also own a construction company. I do subcontract work with commercial and residential. I did flipping in 2020. I was flipping merchandise of Kobe when Kobe passed away. I was
Oh wow.
reselling. I was reselling a lot of his product to get my money back. And
Dang, I wish I would have known that. I would have hit you up.
yeah, it was
Wow.
Shopify and Amazon was my baby, and
Yeah, yeah.
learning how to drop ship and all that, and did all that, and recently went and partnered back up with Black MP Living Water. Now I'm the VP of Business Development and Marketing for Black MP Living Water. So
Okay.
getting back in that and learning all that, but me telling you all this can just burn you out listening to it, right? So
Right, right.
and then on top of that, I do have a family, and so me myself, I wanted to be there for my boys, and the reason why I was doing entrepreneurship because I heard about the time freedom, and
Mm,
uh, and so I was like, okay, but where's the freedom? Because I feel like I'm making lots of money, but I'm not getting, satisfied because I'm not spending the time that I wanted to with my grandmother, with my son, with,
right.
on and on and on, right? And so I went to church one day, and he was saying, I promoted this class and come check out this class. And I went to the class, and that's where I learned it at. I learned how
Wow.
to all the self care and putting time, how to divide your time, and
Mhm.
if,
Mhm.
and all that. And so I put it to work, and it worked.
It
And
does.
so I've been doing it since 2021. Yeah, 2021.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for
So
you.
yeah.
Isn't
So
it doesn't it just make you feel like, man, there is you can still work hard and enjoy life at the same time, because I like to believe, you're a hard worker, I'm a hard worker. There's a lot of hard workers out there, and you don't have to stress yourself out, burn yourself out with your career. I mean, that's okay if you like to work hard, but there's also lots of life for you to live. And I think
yeah.
that's the most important thing for people to remember too. You can
Right.
balance having a career and working hard and having having that passion for what you do for a living, but also enjoy whether you have a family or not. You still matter, you still
Right.
matter as well. So
Right.
it's definitely a game changer, that's for sure. When you can fully adapt the concept of work life balance, it's a
Yeah.
game changer for sure.
And it also for me, it was like now I'm having fun. Like before,
Right.
I was like, "This is cool and everything, but
Hmm.
I can't be doing this for another 10 years." You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because I
Right.
don't know
Right.
where I'll be in 10 years if I keep
Right.
doing this. But now it's like
Right.
I enjoy what I'm doing. I love life. I love people.
Hmm.
I love
Hmm.
doing what I'm doing, and it works. But I want to
Yeah.
dive into these questions. Let's dive. You
What's
ready
up?
for them? You ready?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
All
Yep.
right.
Bring it
Let's.
on.
Okay. So, what does your work life balance look like?
Well, um, so I feel like, just going back to what it looks like, it's different for everyone, like I was saying earlier. But to me, it's really just balancing, like I said, your personal life, all while still working and supporting your family or yourself. Um, it For me, it looks like setting boundaries, because a lot of us people who do like to work hard or have a stressful job, sometimes we don't have boundaries with our job. We work 60 plus hours when really we only have to work a 9 to 5,
Yeah.
or we're on the clock 9 to 5, or we bring work home. So learning how to implement those boundaries with, all right, job. Like, you have me from 9 to 5, and then after that, I'm turning off my emails, I'm turning off my phone, I'm turning off everything else that associates me with work. Those are the boundaries. That's what work life balance looks like for me. First of all, that's just setting that boundaries and making that clear, between work and my personal life. Because vice versa too, when I'm at work, personal things have to wait too. If it's not an emergency, it's gonna have to wait. So just establishing those boundaries, making myself and my family a priority. When even if I am at work, my family still comes first. I still come first. Um, so like I said, dedicated work hours when I'm at work, giving my all when I'm at work, 100%. Along with that comes even time management. Like I was saying earlier, 9 to 5, that's what time you guys get me. Anything else is dedicated to my job. I have a child at home who's small. She still needs me. My husband, he needs me. So there's that time management that it has to be effective.
Yeah.
And doing what I'm going to say, doing what I say I'm going to do when I'm going to do it. So if I have 3 or 4 emails for work that I say I'm going to get sent out, between 9 and 12, doing that, so that way I don't have to worry about it when I'm in bed at 7 p.m. And I do go to bed really early, but when I'm at bed and I'm thinking, oh shoot, I'm in sales too, so when I'm working and I'm laying down and I'm thinking about work, just making sure that time management is on point. All of those things, I feel like it helps with that work life balance, because the last thing I want to do is bring work home, and what I'm not going to do is bring personal life to work.
Right.
So just making that stuff, just sticking to that, those are the things that have really really helped me with the work life balance, and that's what it looks like for me.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Mhm.
I love that.
Mhm.
Um, so one thing that I wrote on here when I was looking at that was, just a side note, is that this is what I found. I found that I found that men value balance just as much as women do. The
Mhm.
difference is the language they use. Okay, so women talk primarily in terms of balance and leading meaningful lives, where men
Mhm.
talk about having time for their priorities and making an impact, both at work and in their families' lives. And then when you drill deeper into what that means, both men and women are saying are saying the same thing, just using a bit different language. Balance is for everyone, men and women alike. So when I was like looking at that, I was just like, okay, like you're saying, it's different for everyone, and it's
Mhm.
even
Mhm.
different. It even looks different for men and women, and
Yeah.
the way that your work life balance, what you put a priority is different from what a man is, but you both are seeking the same thing. You want time for your family, you want time for work, and I thought that was really interesting how the
Yeah.
languages um, are are different, but you're at the same goal. Um,
Yeah.
so I,
Yeah, no,
so
that's very true, because I would go on to say that my husband and I were very different when it comes to work life balance. His work life, he does enjoy being at home or on vacation and like to take personal time, but sometimes he does struggle with bringing that work environment home, or bringing that work environment even on vacation. So definitely looks different. He still enjoys having that flexibility and that work life balance, but sometimes, I would think some men do struggle with that.
yeah, yeah,
Just in general.
yeah. I think the statistic was 37% of men
Wow.
in North America actually struggle with work life balance. Yeah,
Mm,
and I can dig
yeah.
deeper. I can dig deeper into cultural stuff, but I won't do
Yeah.
that for this
Okay,
podcast.
that's for another day.
That's another one. What are the three ways that you helped? What are three ways that has helped you improve work life balance?
Mm, improve work-life balance. So, I mean, well, first I would have to say that I feel like I do have a great work-life balance, and the things that I enjoy doing personally. Um, so the way that I improve it, I think protecting, number one, protecting my energy. So regardless if I'm at work or at home, just protecting my space,
Hmm.
protecting my energy at work, and just making sure that when I'm at work, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing and things like that. Um, Another thing that honestly has improved, it may sound wild, but has improved my work life balance is having a life coach, having a mentor, um, having like even a spiritual coach. Those things have really, like, having those people, three different people in my life, have really just shaped me to appreciate and look at things differently, a
Mm.
different perspective in
Yeah.
life. And it all does come down, it ties into work life balance, whether you think or not. It really does. So just having those things in my life, mentors, life coaches, just to kind of string you along the way and remind you of things, how beautiful life is, or just showing you different perspectives, those are things that have improved my work life balance. Of course, vacations, working hard so that I can take vacation is another way that has improved my work life balance. I mean, you got to go. I ain't rich yet monetarily, but and I haven't hit the lotto or anything, so I can't just be. It's not vacation 365 days a year yet, but so I got to go to work, and just making sure that I go to work so that I can have vacation and
Yeah.
the great things for my family.
Work hard to
Um,
play hard for sure.
Heck yeah, most definitely. Or do both. Work hard and play hard. So,
Right. Right.
but and also I'm a planner, so I think improving my work life balance, when I plan, like for my family, I plan the vacations, I plan what we're going to be doing. I plan my days off according to my daughter's school schedule sometimes. So, really just planning. Like if she's having an event at school, if she's getting an award, if she's doing anything, I mean, I'll take those days off. And
Yeah.
really, that's my work life balance, because I'm like, you know what? Like I said before, my family is a priority. My daughter, I only have her for this amount of time when she's a young child, and the rest of her life I'll be knowing her as an adult, and I don't want to miss out on those things.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm really really tough. So when you gave me work life balance as a topic, I was like, wow, you kind of threw it at me last minute, but I'm like, you know what? This is something that I actually live. Like I do this for real. I am very, very tough on my work life balance. Like I don't waver from it. It's something
Yeah.
that is very important to me. It's something that have implemented in my life for 10 years now. And so it's worked for me. I feel like it's something that I don't struggle with. Of course, when there are times with work that I have to extend my time with work. Like we do a lot of after hour mixers for our clients. We do a lot of, especially around the holidays, we do a lot of holiday parties for them. So, my time is tied up, especially around the holidays. But you know what? I know that after the holidays end, that work life balance is going to kick right back in again. And I'm going to take more days off. I'm going to
Yeah.
take more PTO. I'm that work life balance is coming right back in. I'm gonna leave half a day if I need to get to an appointment. All of those
Right.
things
Right.
I'm
Right.
still gonna get back to implementing. So that's
I
what
love it.
improves my work life balance.
Yeah. And if you guys have comments, put the comments below. What is your guys' three ways of that helped you with improving your work life balance? If you have answers for that, you could throw your answers down below. We'll check them out later. If you have questions, throw your questions below, and we'll definitely get back to you on that as well. And I
For
think you
sure.
hit I think you hit it right on the nail on the head. Is one of the ones where was finding a mentor that provided advice and insight.
Mhm.
Somebody that has what I would say has relationship equity.
Mm.
Uh, I use that a lot. Relationship equity is somebody that knows you,
Mhm.
inside and out. Somebody who has invested time and you invested time
Mhm.
back.
Mhm.
And the reason behind having that and it why it's important because a lot of times when somebody says something to you, you don't always receive it the way that you should. So somebody that has relationship equity, they can
Mhm.
speak life into you, and
Right.
you'll be like, oh, I really didn't see it that way. It's kind of like your
Right.
kid. It's kind of like your kids when your kids
Mhm.
coach in the middle of the year, and you're telling your kid, hey, you know, uh, when you shoot the ball, have that form, have that form,
Right. Right.
and you keep telling your kid, keep telling your kid, and then the coach tells them the same exact thing that you just
Oh, and they
told 'em.
finally listen.
Like, you know what, Dad? You know,
Right.
what I'm saying, and it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, yeah.
That's because that coach has spent hours working with your kid. That coach has invested time in your kid and trust with your kid, and your kid now sees that person as a trustworthy person.
Yes.
Not it's not like they don't see it from you. It's just
Right.
that it's somebody else, and
Yep.
it's somebody they don't spend, going home with, and stuff like
Yep.
that. But it's a little bit different. So that's why it's important to have a mentor, and that mentor has to
Mhm.
have that relationship equity with you.
Most
You
definitely.
you were talking about, prioritizing your time, the top task, and
Mhm.
making sure that
Mhm.
you do them first.
Mhm.
But the most important one that I felt that it is needed for everyone to hear is, man, take time to rest, both mentally and
Yes.
physically. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
I
So important.
yes, absolutely. That was actually a part of my third improvement, but I didn't really touch on that. But I agree with you whole heavenly, like like it's just rest is so important. Mental rest, physical rest. I just came out of a season of resting. It's there's 7 types of rest. I did a show on that too. There's different types of rest that you need, and you have to really just be observant of what type of rest you need in that season. But most definitely, that is so important.
Yeah. You guys need to get some rest, some mental and physical
Yes,
rest. I'm telling you.
yes.
This way
Social
you
rest, emotional rest, physical,
yeah,
mental, sensory rest. Yeah, it's definitely needed, and that is a part of work life balance.
yeah,
Most
it's so important.
definitely.
It's so important. I love that. I love that.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
do you think that work-life balance is so important?
So I feel like, well, for a number of reasons. I mean, we listed a few of them, but number one, just talking like we just said, rest. I mean, rest is important. So work life balance is definitely in the same realm. Honestly, it can reduce stress in your life. I mean,
Mm,
if you're constantly stressed out at work, or then start implementing some work life balance. Like,
$100.
I had a friend that would work until like 11:30 at night, and we both started work at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, and you're still on the computer at 11 o'clock at night. Like, that doesn't make you a better employee than the next. That just means
Yeah.
that you don't have good work life balance, and you are stressing
1,000.
yourself out, like, for no reason. It doesn't mean that, it doesn't mean, I'm sorry for all the movement, but it doesn't
Are you
mean
good?
that, you're going to get that award that you're working for. That doesn't mean anything. It means that you're killing yourself softly. You're killing yourself slowly. Like, you need rest. So, and she was always stressed out at that. So I'm
Man,
like, stressing, it can, it's good for, it can you know the fatigue that comes along with lack of work life balance, the burnout, like you said earlier. I mean, it really, honestly, when you think about it, if you have a good work life balance, it could make you a better employee because you get the rest that you need, because you know you're not as stressed, you're not as burnt out, so it
yeah,
enables better work performance. um and so, yeah, I feel
I
like
love that.
that's definitely, yeah, that's why it's important. I mean, all
Yeah,
around, don't fight it. Don't fight
yeah.
it, because everyone needs it. If you sitting at home doing nothing, you ain't got no job or nothing, you ain't being productive, and don't be trying to implement no work life balance. But you know, but you
For
know
sure,
what? If you
for sure.
work a job, whether it's part time or full time, you know what? If you have some employment going on, then do yourself a favor and get work life balance implemented. And it's not hard. Start small.
Yeah,
Make that effort to take that time for yourself every single day,
yeah,
so you can avoid the burnout.
yeah. And I think for me, I was reading Ford magazine, and I actually pulled this out a few weeks ago. Um, and I wanted to I actually read it right now, but a lot of the stuff that you were talking about is in, the segment that they had for work life balance. And What it says, I'll read it to you guys. And what it says is that work life balance is an important aspect of healthy work environment. Maintaining work life balance helps reduce stress, helps prevent
Mm,
burnout. You're talking about that. In the
mm-hmm.
workplace, chronic stress is one of the most common health
Mm-hmm.
issues in the workplace. It can lead to physical consequences such as hypertension, digestive troubles, chronic aches and pains, and heart problems. Chronic stress
Mm,
can also negatively impact mental health because it is linked to the higher risk of depression, anxiety, and insomnia.
mm-hmm.
So
I
if you
believe
guys,
it.
if you guys, I mean, I want you guys to understand that how important it is because it does affect your health. Maybe not immediately, but eventually it'll catch up to you. So
Yeah.
that's why it's so important to implement the work-life balance. You hear it all the time, but how much time are you spending implementing these things? And this is for you, it's not for me. We don't get nothing out of it. It's these implementing these things is for you, so that you have a healthier, successful, and more prosperous life. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's very important, and I thought that that was really cool that I got that off of the Forbes
Yeah.
magazine. It was really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. For sure. I agree with it all.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Man, I love it. What are the difference between? So we're gonna jump now. Okay, so
Okay.
we're talking about work-life balance, all the things that you are doing. We're gonna jump a little bit about what you're doing and have been doing a little bit. But what are the difference between? I think we chatted about it too. What are the difference between entrepreneur and entrepreneur?
Oh, you know what? That's so funny that we jump from work life balance into entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship and the differences because let me tell you one thing, work life balance to a newly entrepreneurial person like that don't
Man,
mix because
man,
you go from working 9 to 5 to
yeah,
working 9 to 10, like 9 to 10 at night if you're an entrepreneur. So
mhm,
but anyway, it's still important even if you're an entrepreneur. But the difference between an entrepreneur and an entrepreneur, which is something that an entrepreneur is what I kind of categorize myself as. It's someone that has grown within the company that they work for. So somebody that's not a company you own or anything. I've been with my job for almost 13 years, like I said, and I started from like like Drake said, I started from the bottom, and then I just kind of climbed my way up there. So I entrepreneurship is basically within the company. So you are able to create something within your company and it's still standing. So with my company, I created a department that's still going strong, still has 5, 6 employees within that department. And so I was able to, give create that and watch it blossom over the years. So that's pretty much. And then the entrepreneurship is something that you have built from the ground up. That is yours. You're an entrepreneurship. That
yep,
is something that you work tirelessly on trying to build. That's your brand. That's
right,
that's your baby. So
yeah,
those are just the two differences. With the entrepreneur, you're building within the company, you're growing, you're climbing that ladder, and then of course on the outside, you're in entrepreneurship and you're creating something that's yours. So I kind of dabble in both, more of the entrepreneur, but starting to do my own thing with entrepreneurship.
yeah. I love that. I do want to touch on this because I hear it so much. The 9 to 10 as an entrepreneur. Um,
Yeah.
I would want to say that if you're working as an entrepreneur from 9 to 10, hit me up because that is not entrepreneurship. There's seasons and there's times that you may, but that's not yeah, you're definitely not working 9 to 10 all the time.
Yeah.
Um
I
y-
don't know. I know some people that just constantly work. Like they believe it's their vision. They want to get their business off the ground. Like they're just
that be
honestly, they're working like from sun up to sundown. That's basically what that is. Maybe not 9 to 10, maybe 10 to 10 or 10 to whatever it is, they're
yeah,
working past that 9 to 5 because that's their business.
yeah.
But
So there's
they
a
there's
book.
just so many things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So there's a book called Soar, right? A
Uh-huh.
book called Soar by T.D. Jakes. He talks about his dad. He talks about his dad working tirelessly and then also his dad being an entrepreneur. If you have a chance to check out that book, but in that book, it talks a lot about delegating If you're working
Mhm.
9 to 10 or 10 to 10, it's because you're not delegating. That's all
Yeah.
it is. You're
Yeah.
if
What do you
it's your
think though? What if they don't have no one to delegate to and it's just a one man show right now? What do
I
they do
mean,
at that point? That's the very beginning of a business, you know.
yeah.
It's just them. One
No,
one
I get
person,
it, and
one man person.
I get it, and there's times, but I mean, I would believe that in the 80s or 90s, but I don't
Yeah.
believe that in 2023 where there's
Yeah.
technology, there's stuff to work. I
Yeah,
just talked about
for
I
sure.
just I just talked about last I don't know if you've seen the last episode, but we just talked about AI systems.
Oh
So
yeah.
AI technology is taking over, and yeah, there's no reason why you should be working 10 to
Yeah.
10. AI really does everything for you. And
Yeah.
so living in a life that we live now, there's so much different ways to delegate. It
Mhm.
just for me, it's hard to bobble my mind around that. And I get what you're saying. I get in the
Mhm.
beginning, you want to do everything yourself, but that's why we talked about mentors and we talk about
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that. People who's been there, that has the path and the
For
road that
sure.
you're trying to go and wherever you want to go. If it's beverage, then get with a mentor that's been successful in beverage and gain all the knowledge that you need,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
things like that. And so, I mean, it's so important to be connected. And when
Mhm.
you're disconnected, I think that you would work 10 to 10. I think when you're disconnected and don't understand how it all works, but
Yeah.
um, it,
Use your
and
resources though, for sure. There's resources everywhere. I know the
come on,
AI thing is really new for a lot of these a lot of us. It's really new, but that's just another resource that everyone's going to have available to them, right?
mhm.
And
Another
like you
tool in the
said,
toolbox.
delegating, my I know I used to hear my CEO talk to us about it all the time. Like it was hard for him to delegate because his business, it was like he was able to, he had to do it. He was HR, he was the hiring manager, he was the sales
Man,
manager, he was all of these different hats in the beginning because of whatever he had to do it. He didn't have the money to bring people in. And we're talking, the business is, it's what it's we're teenager. Are we grown? Are we 20 years old? Yeah, I think we're 20. But when it was back when it was like 5 years old, 6 years old, all those learning curves, of course he brought in all of the mentors, the business mentor, all of them every year that would mentor us, and get us on our feet. But yeah, it took a while. It didn't happen overnight. But you have the best advice. It's like get that mentor in there, utilize the resources you
man,
have available. I mean, we
come on.
have internships too. These college kids that find college kids that are wanting to dive into what type of business you're in and
Yeah.
utilize them. Some of them you don't even have to pay. They just want the experience.
Right. There's so many
So,
different ways. Yeah, there's so many different ways, and I love it. And it all
yeah,
works, and
it does.
jump into some classes, jump into I mean, there's so many camps and mini camps and conferences and
Mhm.
all these different things that you can take advantage of, and there's no reason why, you shouldn't be I'm telling everybody you shouldn't be working 10 to 10. I'm telling you, you shouldn't.
Yeah,
If you are, please call me. I'll help you. I promise
yeah,
you. I do this
yeah.
for a living,
Hit
I
them up.
help
Yeah,
I grow businesses for a living, and so um
yeah. There you guys. There you have it, guys. Give Mikey P a call. Mhm.
yeah. I do want to spend some time before we take off. Can you tell us a little bit more about you and your podcast and anything else, any other projects, anything you want to promote? I want our people to know exactly what you
Yeah,
do or what else you
for
got going
sure.
on. Yeah, go ahead.
Most definitely. Thank you. Thank you for that opportunity. So I do reside here in Tulare, California. So personally, I have a few things going on. I kind of, that's one thing about me. I kind of start things and then I start something else, and then before I know it, I've got five, six different things I'm working on. Still showing love, but but yeah. Anyway, so my daughter, I'm investing a lot of time in my 6 year old right now. She has shown interest in motivating kids, and so we decided, her and I, to start a charm bracelet business. It's called Daisy Ray's Charms. And her name is Daisy Ray. And so we started this charm business, and this is surrounding affirmations for children. So she loves to empower kids, and she loves to motivate kids to be their best, and to give things their all, and that they are, that to remind kids that they're amazing and awesome, and beautiful, and God loves them. And so we decided to put them on charm bracelets. Here's a little one right here. This one says "Have faith."
Ooh,
And
love
so she makes these. Don't look at my nails, y'all, because I got to get a feel tomorrow. But she
that.
makes these charm bracelets and she puts charms on there. I take all the orders for her and I tell her a little bit about the person who placed the order, if they share anything with me or if I know anything about that person. We have the charms. We have a bunch of charms and she makes those and she sells them for $7. We've been a vendor at a couple of events. And so,
Sweet.
yeah, that's something that we have. I just finished my first book that I'm going to get published. So, actually, I just said it here. It's my first time saying it. Um,
Before we jump in the book,
that,
before we jump
yeah,
into the book,
yeah, yeah.
where can we get Daisy Ray charms? Is there a
So,
website or how do
yeah.
we?
So Daisy Ray has a web, or she has a Instagram page. It's called Daisy Ray's Charms on Instagram. So you can find it Daisy Ray underscore charms
Got you.
on Instagram. And then you can just send us a direct message for now. Her website is in the works, is being
Got you.
created. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, and
Your book.
so
Let's get to
after
your book.
after that, we again with my daughter, she is a preemie. She was born 2 pounds. And so we just finished writing a book, a children's book actually, and it's called Daisies in the NICU. And it's pretty much about the daisy flower, which is it symbolizes pureness, God's child, um, lots of fertility. Women that used to have fertility issues back in the Hebrew days, and then they would struggle with fertility, and when they were able to become pregnant, they would put daisies outside of their village to let everybody know that they were pregnant. So I struggled with having her. I had 6 miscarriages before I had her. So
Mm,
um the word Daisy, the name Daisy meant so much to me and it fit her perfectly because she was my warrior. So the book is on daisies in the NICU, where she is born a NICU preemie child, baby, and born very sick, very small. And but she, as before she goes home, she sprinkles daisies all over her NICU roommates for that are babies, and they grow this supernatural power and they're able to leave home as well. So
wow.
without not giving the whole book away, that's pretty
Yeah.
much the gist of it.
And where can
So
we get?
just finished that. It's
Yeah.
not ready yet.
Yeah.
Just finished my draft. But
Okay.
I'm super excited for that. So I'm pumped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, pumped up for that. And then earlier we talked about once that is finished though, then definitely I'll be hitting you up so you can blast that for me.
Yeah, for sure.
We talked about earlier the podcast that we have. So my cousin and I, his name is Jay Graham. He owns the media business Nuclear Vision. It's NU Clear Vision here in Tulare. It's a media company. He does photography, 360 photo booth machine, all those things. That's what pays the bills for the podcast and things that we do for the studio that we have
Okay.
here. So he has the What's the Biz underneath the nuclear umbrella. We created What's the Biz, and that is another platform for us to be able to share resources here in the community. Podcast is what we want to also offer a studio for people here in the community that want to start their own podcast. Um, we have we have packages that we're working on now for people to be able to come in and use the equipment and things of that nature. So we have Nuclear Vision, which is the media. What's the Biz is actually underneath the umbrella of Nuclear, and then Empower Huddle is my podcast that I have every Monday at 6 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And that is
Nice.
just a place for me to empower people to be positive, to share different stories, and just about our life, and just talk about life. Um, and so I do that. My guest is, I'm sorry, my co-host is my godmother, Darnell Rivera,
Mm,
and she's on there with me as well. I'm also a student actor, so I do acting in Los Angeles, in LA. And that's something that I just started 3 years ago. I'm just having fun with it right now, trying to learn the ropes of entertainment and have fun with it. It really helps me with presentations, it helps me build relationships. And so just being the student actor is really excuse me, really helping me in my BDM career, which is business development career. So
I love it.
yeah.
Love
just
it.
started actually, and the last thing we did is just we just started, my daughter and I, Daisy Ray, we just started a etiquette class for young girls in the summer. So we do a 1 week etiquette class, which has been super fun. This is our first year doing it for
Yeah,
little
that's
girls.
dope. That's dope. And
Yeah.
what's the business out of Tulare?
What's the biz is out of Tulare, yes. So
Oh, okay.
you see
Local,
why
local.
work life balance is so important for me.
Yeah,
Because it's like,
1000%.
yeah, yeah, one thing can take my full focus and concentration, but I
Yeah,
still got to have that balance. But it's all
yeah,
fun. It's all things I enjoy doing. So I love
yeah,
people, sometimes, but I love people. I love children. I love kids, and I love to empower people. So that's really
man.
what it's
That's
about.
where it's at. That's where it's at. I need
Yeah,
to, I need to,
absolutely.
I need to jump on with you guys one day
Yes,
with
we'd
the
love to have
biz.
you as a
That
guest.
time.
Absolutely. We'd love to
Yeah,
talk about entrepreneurship. That's why when you had told me about that earlier, I was like, "Ooh, I have the perfect person, my cousin Jay Graham, because he's full on entrepreneurship. He started this business and it's going really well, the media business. So, yeah, but
yeah.
definitely we'll have you on for sure. We'd love to chat with you and get on the
That would be
mic.
sick. That would be dope for Tulare. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Man, we're giving so much back to our communities. Even though I'm here, I do so much
Mhm.
for Tulare as well. So it'd be great
Absolutely.
to link with you guys. It'd be dope.
Yeah.
It'd be so dope.
That's
But
most definitely.
yeah. Well, I thank you so much for jumping on with me. And,
Yeah,
I believe that time is the biggest commodity in life. And so,
absolutely.
to spend your time here I'm very honored to have you on and
Thank
get
you.
your thoughts, on work-life balance. And I learned some stuff too. So
Yeah,
I'm always a student when it comes to this stuff because I can definitely take everything into consideration and look at it in my life and see how I implement it as well. And probably many of you guys out there that is watching, you guys heard something, you grab it, you write it down,
mhm,
look at it every day, and really try to do this, implement implement. Implement this into your life because it is a life changer. It really is. We
yeah,
both said it. You heard it first. Danica was touching on how it changed her life, and it definitely changed mine as well. And so, thank you so much. And
yeah,
I
thank you.
appreciate you joining. And
Absolutely.
that concludes
Thank
us here.
you.
Yeah, for sure. That concludes us here. If you have any questions or concerns, please drop it below, and we'll try to get back to you as quick as we can. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate each and
Yeah.
every one of you guys, and I'm gonna leave you guys with these three things. And these three things I always leave you with: I love you, I believe in you, and let's go make a difference.